Imagine this. A small town shrouded in mist. The clock strikes midnight, and an unsettling silence takes over. Suddenly, a shadow moves. A scream echoes through the darkness, and just like that, a mystery begins. Welcome to Midnight Crimes, where the deadliest secrets come alive under the moonlight. Our story begins in the quiet town of Ravenwood, a place that prides itself on being untouched by the chaos of the outside world. But beneath its tranquil surface lies a darkness that no one speaks of. It was the night of the autumn festival, and the streets were alive with laughter, music, and the warm glow of lanterns. Families gathered, children ran around with sparklers, and for once, everyone felt safe. But as the clock approached midnight, the festivities began to wind down, and people returned to their homes. Among them was Eliza Harper, a 28-year-old journalist visiting her hometown after years away. Eliza had always been curious, often too curious for her own good. That night, as she walked back to her family's old house, she noticed something strange. A man in a long coat, standing under a flickering street lamp, watching her. His face was obscured by the shadow of his hat, but his presence sent a chill down her spine. She quickened her pace, her heart racing, the sound of her footsteps echoing on the empty street. But no matter how fast she walked, she could feel his eyes on her. When she turned to confront him, he was gone. Only the faint scent of cigar smoke lingered in the air. Eliza couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, even as she locked her doors and drew her curtains. She tried to dismiss it as paranoia, but her instincts told her otherwise. And her instincts were rarely wrong. The next morning, the town woke up to horrifying news. A woman's body was found in the woods, just outside the festival grounds. She was identified as Clara Monroe, a local teacher who had been loved by everyone. The police ruled it as an accident, but Eliza wasn't convinced. Clara's face bore an expression of pure terror, and her injuries didn't match the explanation given. Determined to uncover the truth, Eliza began her own investigation. She retraced Clara's last steps, interviewed festival-goers, and scoured the town's history for clues. That's when she stumbled upon an unsettling pattern. Every few years, around the time of the autumn festival, someone went missing or turned up dead. The deeper Eliza dug, the more she realized the town was hiding something. Ravenwood's residents were tight-lipped, their gazes heavy with fear. It was as if they knew something but were too afraid to speak. And then she found it. The legend of the Midnight Watcher. According to local folklore, the Midnight Watcher was a shadowy figure who appeared during the festival season. Those who saw him were said to be marked for death, their lives claimed by accidents that were anything but accidental. Eliza wasn't one to believe in ghost stories, but the connections were too strong to ignore. The descriptions of the Watcher matched the man she'd seen under the street lamp, and Clara had mentioned feeling uneasy in the days leading up to her death. As Eliza pieced the puzzle together, she realized the Watcher wasn't a supernatural being, but a very real, very dangerous person. Someone who had been living among them, hiding in plain sight. But just as she was about to uncover their identity, she received a warning. A note slipped under her door that read, "Curiosity kills. Stop, or you're next." That night, as the clock struck midnight, Eliza heard a sound outside her window, a faint tapping, like fingernails against glass. She froze, her breath caught in her throat. When she finally summoned the courage to look, her blood ran cold. There he was, standing in the moonlight, his face still obscured, but his intent chillingly clear. The Midnight Watcher had come for her. What happened next would leave Ravenwood shaken forever. But to find out, you'll have to stay tuned for the next episode of Midnight Crimes. Thanks for joining us on this chilling journey into the heart of darkness. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tales that keep you on the edge of your seat. And remember, not all shadows are harmless. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode of Midnight Crimes.